Good day, students. Today we will going to have a new lesson, and that is measuring time with conversion. Now let's start with the sample problem. We have Fernandez family spent their 3.5 days vacation in Cebu. How many hours did they spend in Cebu? In order to solve for the problem, we have to convert the number of days into hours. So we have 3.5 days converted into hours. This is sample problem wherein we need to convert a larger unit to a smaller unit. Now the question is, how many hours do we have in one day? So we can, one day is equivalent to 24 hours. 3.5 days is equal to 3 days and a half day. 3 days times it to 24, that is 72 hours. And half day, multiply it with 24, is 12 hours. Or you can just think, what's the half of 24? That's 12. Or you can also multiply it to half, so to 1/2. 24 divided by 2 times 1. Still, we got the answer of 12. And to find how many hours do they spend in all, we're going to add 72 hours for 3 days and 12 hours for half day, so 72 plus 12. So the answer is 84 hours. Therefore, the Fernandez family spent 84 hours in their vacation. Let us try to have another example. How many hours are there in 780 minutes? This is still conversion from a larger unit to a smaller unit. The question is, how many hours are there in 780 minutes? So this time, we will going to convert 780 minutes to hours. We all know that 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. So 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So in this case, we will going to divide 780 divided by 60. So 78 divided by 60, we have 1. 1 times 60 is 60. 78 minus 60, the answer is 18. Bring down 0 to make it 180. 180 divided by 60, that is 3. 3 times 60, that is 180. 180 minus 180, that is 0. So therefore, the total number of hours, therefore, there are 13 hours in 780 minutes. Now let us study the given set of conversion unit. Let's start with 60 seconds. It's equal to 1 minute. 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. 24 hours equivalent to 1 day. 7 days is equal to 1 week. 30 days is 1 month. 365 days is equivalent to 1 regular year. 366 days is equivalent to a year, including the leap year. 12 months is equivalent to 1 year. 10 years is 1 decade. 100 years is 1 century. And 1,000 years is 1 millennium. This time, we will go into convert a larger unit to a smaller unit. So we have here 45 weeks to days. We all know that 1 week is equivalent to 7 days. So 47 times 7, that is 329 days. Therefore, there are 329 days in 47 weeks. How about we will going to convert 18 decades to years? 1 decade is equivalent to 10 years. So 18 times 10 is 180. So therefore, there are 180 years in 18 decades. This time, we will going to convert a smaller unit to a larger unit. So we have here, convert 7,800 seconds to minutes. So we all know that 60 seconds equivalent to 1 minute. So we will going to divide. Always remember that when we are converting smaller unit to a larger unit, we do the process of division. So 7,800 divided by 80, we have 1. 1 times 60, that is 60. 78 minus 60, that is 18. Bring down 0 to make it 180. 180 divided by 60, that is 3. 3 times 60, that's 180. 180 minus 180, that's 0, but we still have another 0 to be bring down. 0 divided by 60 is 0, 0 times 60 is 0, and 0 minus 0, the answer is 0. Therefore, there are 130 minutes in 7,800 seconds. This time, let's convert 240 months in a year. Okay, so 240 months in a year, we all know that 12 months equivalent to 1 year. So this time we will going to divide 240 by 12. Okay, so let's start with 24. 24 divided by 2, it's 2. 2 times 12, it's 24. And 24 minus 24 is 0. Bring down 0. 0 divided by 12 is 0. 0 times 12 is 0. And 0 minus 0 is 0. So therefore, there are 20 years in 240 months. So here are the things that we need to remember. When converting larger unit to smaller unit, we need to multiply the given time to its conversion factor. While we're expressing smaller unit to a larger unit, then we need to divide it into common conversion factor. So always remember that when we convert larger unit to smaller unit, we do multiplication. And when we convert a smaller unit to a larger unit, then we do the division. So larger to small, multiply, smaller to large, larger, we divide. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening, grade 6. I hope we've learned something new today, and see you tomorrow in our synchronous class. Just identify the different units of measurement. For the distance, we have kilometer, meter, centimeter. For the speed, we have meter per second, kilometer per hour, and centimeter per second. For time, we have hour, seconds, and minute. By the way, for today, we will going to review our lesson about distance, speed, and time. Let's start with an example. A cyclist traveled at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. How far can a cyclist travel in 2 hours? And based on our chart here, the one that we're looking is, question according to our problem is how far. So when we say how far, then we're looking for the distance. And the formula used for the distance is speed times time. Speed times time. The speed of the cyclist is 50 kilometers per hour, and the time traveled is 2 hours. So 50 times 2. So the distance traveled by the cyclist in 2 hours is 100 kilometers. Let's have the second example. A van traveled at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. How long did the van take to travel in 160 kilometers? Now for this one, the question is how long. So since it is how long, then we are referring to time. And the formula used for time is the distance divided by speed. So we have the distance of 160 kilometer and the speed is 40 kilometer. So 160 divided by 40, the time is equivalent to 4. So 160 divided by 40, it's 4. And the time is 4 hours. And for our last example, we have here a boy walk 150 meters in 10 minutes. Find its speed. Now for this word problem, we're looking for the speed. And the formula used for speed is the distance divided by time. And based on the problem, the distance traveled by the boy is 150, and that is for 10 minutes. So 150 divided by 10, the speed of the boy is 15 minutes or 15 meters per minute. So just remember, if we're looking for the distance, then the formula is speed divided by speed times time. If we're looking for the speed, then the formula is distance divided by time. And if we're looking for the time, then the formula is distance divided by speed. about the nth term. N term is a formula with n in it, which enables you to find any term of a sequence without having to go up from one term to the next. N stands for the term number, so to find the 50th term, we would just substitute 50 in the formula in place of the n. Now, this time we will going to find the n term in the sequence. And for our sequence, we have the 4, 9, 14, 19, 24. Now, this time, we will going to find the formula and find the 25th term in this sequence. Again, we will going to find out what is the 25th term in this sequence. Now, the function of the n term is that we can easily find the 25th term without going step by step. Okay, now let's start. Based on our sequence, we know, we can see 4 becomes 9, 9 becomes 14, 19, and 24. So based on our pattern here, what do we do to 4 to make it 9? We add 5. So this one is plus 5. How about for 14? What do we do to 14? Or what do we do to 9 to make it 14? Still, we add 5. So based on our rule here, the rule for this pattern is plus 5. So 14 plus 5 is 19. 19 plus 5 is 24. So this is our rule, plus 5. So we can say that this one is 5. Since this one is plus 5, so we have here 5 and n stands for the term. Okay, now since this one is plus 5, we are going to do the table of 5. The table of 5 for this one, let's start with 5. This one is 10, 15, 20, and 25. Okay, by the way, this is not the term. When we say term, okay, this one is the first term, 9 is the second term, this one is the third term, fourth, and fifth. I just put here the table of 5 because the rule tells us that this one is plus 5. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Okay, now the next thing that we will going to do is that we will going to identify what happened to 5 here to make it 4. What happened to 10 here to make it 9? What happened to 15 here to make it 14, 20 to 19, and 25 to 24? Based on the given here, we subtract 1. Okay, so 5 minus 4, 5 minus 1, that is 4. 10 minus 1, that is 9. 15 minus 1, that is 14, and so on and so forth. So, since we subtract each time by 1, so our formula is 5n minus 1. And 5n minus 1 is now our formula to find the 25th term. Okay, but before we substitute the following and find the 25th term, let us first check whether our formula is correct. So this time we will going to use 5n, and let us check whether if this one first, second, third, fourth, this is the fourth term. So let us change the n to the fourth term. Okay, and our answer for this one should be 19. Okay, 19 is the answer to know that our formula is correct. Okay, so 19 is the fourth term. Let us check whether our answer is 19. So 5 times 4, this one is 20, and 20 minus 1, the answer is 19. Very good. I guess our formula here is correct. So for the formula, we have 5n minus 1. Let's try another example. Let's try this one. 24. 24 here is the 25th term. Okay, so let us substitute and use our formula. 5 times, okay, the fifth term, which is the n minus 1. So 5 times 5, 5 times 5, it's 25, and 25 minus 1, the answer is 24. So I guess our answer here is correct. So the formula that we will going to use to find the 25th term is 5n minus 1. So let us now use this one to find the 25th term. 5, and put the number of term, the 25th term, minus 1. Okay, now 25 times 5, this one is 125, right? 125 minus 1, and I guess we already have our answer. 125 minus 1, the 25th term in this pattern is 124. So that's it. Okay, so we don't need to go through step-by-step process to go to the 25th term. All we have to do is to identify our formula in the nth term to find the answer. Okay, so you can also find the 30th term, the 40th term using our formula here, 5n minus 1. Okay, next, how about this one? We're going to find the missing term. For this one, we have 8, 14, 20, 26, and 32. Let's try. We're going to find the 10th term. What is the 10th term in this pattern? Okay. Now, still, we're going to find the rule. First, what is the rule? We have 8, 14, 20, 26, and 32. Okay, so the pattern here is, I guess this one is plus 6. Okay, this one is plus 6. It's because 8 plus 6 is 14, 14 plus 6 is 20, 20 plus 6 is 26, and 26 plus 6 is 32. So since this one is, the pattern is plus 6, so we have 6n. Okay, and we're going to do the table of 6 here. So we have 6, 12, 18, 24, and the last one here is 30. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is that we will going to think what happened to 6 here to make it 8. What do we do to 6 here to make it 8? So we add 6, 7, 8. So for this one, we're going to add 2. So 6n plus 2. Okay, now let us check whether let us check our formula if it is correct. Now this time, let us check the third term. So for this one, the third term is 20. So the first, second term, third term. So let us substitute the given and our answer should be 20. So 6 times 3 plus 2. So 6 times 3, 6, 12, 18. 18 plus 2, then the answer is 20. So we got the correct answer. Okay, so I guess we're now ready to get the 10th term for this sequence. So still we will going to use our pattern 6 times 10, 6 times 10 plus 2. Okay, 6 times 10, it's 60, and 60 plus 2, the answer is 62. So the 10th term for this pattern is 62. Okay, so it's very easy to find the term if you already have the formula. So you can choose what would be the 30th term, what is the 40th term, the 50th term, Okay, the 90th term, as long as you already have your formula, it's easy for us to identify those terms. Okay, so that's the importance of our nth term. Next, we're going to find, this time we're going to find the, okay, the 11th term. Let's try 11. Okay, in this pattern. What is the 11th term in this pattern? So for this one, as what we can see, the numbers are decreasing. So from 25 it becomes 23 to 21 to 19 and 17. Okay, so since this one is decreasing and the pattern is 25, it became 23. So this one, I guess the pattern is minus 2. So for this one, 23 minus 2, it's 21. 21 minus 2, it's 19. 19 minus 2, that is 17. Okay, so we have here negative 2 or minus 2 n. Okay, so we're going to do now the table of 2. So negative 2 minus 4 minus 6 minus 8 and minus 10. Okay, now the next thing that we were going to do for this one is that what should be added, or what will we do to negative 2 here to make our answer 25. So can you still remember our assigned numbers or the integers, our lesson about integers? What should be added to negative 2 to make it positive 25? So for this one, the answer is plus 27. It's because if we're going to add unlike sign means subtract and copy the sign of the greater number. So if we're going to add negative 2 plus 27, so unlike sign, so we're going to subtract 27 minus 2, that is 25. And we're going to copy the sign of the bigger number, and the bigger number for this one is 27, right? The sign of 27 is positive, so our answer is positive 25. So this one, what should be added to negative 2 to make it 25? That is plus 27. So we're going to add this one to our formula, negative 2n plus 27. Okay, now the next thing that we were going to do is find what is the 11th term. Okay, so just substitute the following: negative 2 and the 11th term plus 27. Okay, so negative 2 times 11, the answer is negative 22, and negative 22 plus 27, as what we can see, this one is unlike sign. Okay, unlike sign means subtract, copy the sign of the bigger number. So 27 minus 22, this one is 5, and the bigger number between the two is 27, and the sign of 27 is positive. So for our final answer, we have 5. So in this sequence, the 11th term is 5. So thank you so much in listening. I hope you've learned something for today's lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.